do this. Number 2 on my worst purchase, and the reason I don't want to do this is I can hear my husband, I can hear Dale, I can hear the I told you so's, and I just don't really want to deal with the drama. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me, and today's video is one of those videos of self-reflection that I don't really like to make, and it is my worst luxury purchases of 2021. Now, I love to watch these videos because I find them really informative, and I like to see what people have bought that has worked for them and hasn't worked for them, and I do think that some of the reasoning why can give me some tips as to whether or not that would work for me or not. But it's still hard to look through all the money that you spent over the last year and to pick out the worst and the ones that didn't work out, and then to think about the price tag that was attached to them. But sure, lol, we'll do it for the crack and to give everybody a bit of an insight. Now, I have already filmed the 10 best purchases of 2021. And excuse me, I can't shake the cold that I have. It's nothing more sinister. I've had plenty of tests, but just with being run down with work, I just can't shake it. So if I sound a little bit croaky through it, I apologise. But I have filmed my 10 best luxury purchases of the year. And that was good because there was easily 10. There could have been more. There was things that were left out that easily could have been in that top 10. For this worst luxury purchases video of 2021, I have 5. Now, I'm going to say that I don't think that's that bad. When I said that to my husband, he went, "At those prices, love, I think 5's bad enough." Okay, you can go now. But yes, at those prices, 5 obviously is bad enough, but I'm glad that it's 5 and not another 10 or even more. So let's go through my 5 worst luxury purchases of 2021. And the first one I no longer have. It is the Chanel houndstooth walk. If I was more organised, I would have already had this out. This is the Chanel 19 in the small size in the houndstooth tweed, and this was on my top 10 best purchases. The houndstooth walk I bought because I couldn't find this, and I lecture, I accept it's a lecture in my videos about don't buy the instead of bag, don't buy the bag that you can't find because you can't find the one you really want, don't settle for the bag, and then I did just that. But at least I can now say the proof's in the pudding. It really doesn't work. So whenever I am saying wait for the bag you really want or don't settle for a different one, I am talking unfortunately from experience, because I bought this in the walk and I loved the walk because I loved the tweed, but I'm not a walk person really. I don't really love walks. I really wanted this. This is what I wanted. Now, whenever I got the walk, I was surprised by how much I loved it because I loved the look of it with this, and I actually loved the coin purse that hung from it. I know a lot of you didn't, but I did. But I still wanted this. I still had this in my mind, and the walk didn't take this away, and I got this not that long after. So I never used the walk. I sold it to one of my subscribers who, on my vlog sale, I have to say thank you for that because it was a seamless transaction. It all went very easily. You made that a very enjoyable interaction for me, and I'm really glad that you now have the bag that you wanted, and it worked very well. But I have to say in the outset, for purchasing it, it was one of my worst purchases because I should have just waited for this. I should have taken my own advice and not bought the instead of bag, not settled for a bag that wasn't what I really wanted, and that is number 1. Number 2, I don't want to do this. Number 2 on my worst purchase, and the reason I don't want to do this is I can hear my husband, I can hear Dale, I can hear the I told you so's, and I just don't really want to deal with the drama. But number 2 on my worst purchases are these. And I'm going to be honest, it's not because I don't love them. I do love them. I still think that these are cool. I still think that these are funky. I still think that these look fabulous with certain types of outfits. But let me tell you, it is just not worth the hassle. I don't listen to what my husband thinks about my purchases and my luxury items. I've talked about that lots of times. I don't worry about what he says. But with these, oh my goodness, it's just not worth it for a pair of shoes. I have never before seen him take such an intense dislike or hatred of something that I've bought. He absolutely hates these. Hates them. Every time I go to wear these that he is with me, he will start a 3-year-old type tantrum. No, you're not wearing them with me. I'm not going out with you with those on. I don't want to be seen with you with those on. You're not wearing those shoes. And it's just not worth the fight. It's just, I'm sorry, I am sorry, but it's just not worth the fight. Every single time I go to wear these, it's an argument. It's just not worth it. It is just not worth it. As much as I don't care about what he thinks, all the other things that he's maybe not that keen on, he doesn't really get that interested in or give me that much nonsense over. But these, every single time, it's just not worth it. And the reason I'm saying they're one of my worst purchases is because I can wear them so rarely. I could go ahead whenever he's tantering my way over there. I could go away and just wear them, but I'm going to have to listen to it. I'm going to have to listen to him the whole time that we are out, or we are wherever we are. He hates them. And it's just not worth it. And I end up changing them because it's not worth listening to it, and it's not worth starting wherever you're going with this amount of nonsense over a pair of shoes. And I know I can hear it, but it's ridiculous. And it just means that these are probably in the worst purchases because I've got to wear them so little that they're not really worth the fight and the impending divorce. They are not worth the fallout. They're just not worth it for a pair of shoes. And it means, like, look, they're like brand new. I think I've worn them once or twice because of listening to the spew that comes. I'm so sorry, because I actually think you're really cool, but I have to say, you're just giving me a lot of hassle. Number 3 in my worst purchases, and this one I'm not sure of, but no, I think I have to just own up and say is probably one of my worst purchases, and it's this little Fendi bag. And I bought this from Fashionly Amy here on YouTube because I absolutely love it, and I absolutely love the print. I love the Zucca print. I love the colours. I think it looks so cool. I love the red against the beige. I love the look of the bag. So why am I telling you it's one of my worst purchases? Not because of the look of the bag, not because of how the sale or anything went. That was also seamless. Amy's fabulous. She really, really is. It was perfect. It's because I bought it because I love the print and I didn't really think through what I was buying. The bucket bag is not my favourite type of bag. I have one somewhere. I have a Chanel one in there somewhere that I absolutely love the look of, but is still probably one of my least used bags, even though I love it so much because I don't use a bucket bag that much. I think I have learned my lesson that I only really have space in my wardrobe for one. Even that one doesn't get used all that much. So whenever I bought a second one, yeah, it naturally transpired that this one does not get used very much. And Ash had said to me, actually, whenever I think I posted a picture of this on my Instagram on a time that I did use it, and Ash had commented, Ash from Ash Lux on Instagram, I never see you with that bag. Do you really use that bag? And I think it was then that I started to think about how little actually I have used this bag, and it's because it's the bucket bag. I also think when I bought it, I probably thought that it would sit neater and differently crossbody. I actually don't love the look of this crossbody. I think it's much preferable to me anyway as a handheld. I love it as a handheld, the look of it. But again, I don't use a bucket bag like that often. And I think just because of how it hasn't really worked out for my lifestyle, because it is the bucket bag, because I don't use it that much, this is probably has to be one of my worst luxury purchases of 2020. Number 4 on my worst purchases list is these Chanel boots. Now, you can see from the shape they are worn. I have worn them in Paris. If you watched the Paris vlog, that was the first time I had ever worn them. I do think they wore quite badly on the sole. Now, I wore them one day in Paris. I appreciate that we walked quite a lot. But if you can see the wear and how the sole has worn and how the front of them has worn, I don't think that's great for the cost of the boot, to be completely honest with you. And I've told you before, I am not going to sit on this channel and just tell you that everything that I buy and everything luxury is all fabulous and sparkles and rainbows, because sometimes it's not. And I don't think these have worn very well at all for the cost. I think that this just shows they're not maybe the best. They also, to walk in, were very hard. The sole was very hard. By the end of the first day, I definitely felt that I'd been wearing them all day. And the reason I've picked out the left one is the zipper on the left one. Although when I do this, you would not have any idea that anything is wrong. The zipper on the left boot kept falling down, and it kept falling down as we were walking. Now, it didn't happen on the right boot, but it kept happening on the left boot, and it gave me a really, really bad blister on the back of my heel, because as the zip came down and you walked, obviously your heel was then rubbing against the back of the boot, and it really hurt, really quite hurt, and it gave me a really, really bad blister. If you watched the vlog from Paris, at one point you will have seen me wearing an outfit where I had on the black and white tweed checked shorts, and I had it on with black tights and my Louis Vuitton combat boots. If you watched all of the vlog, you will have seen at one point that outfit changes to a pair of Nike trainers, and basically the blister that had been left from these the day before was so sore. And those combat boots from Louis Vuitton I have worn a lot. They're very, very comfortable, but I had to take them off because of the blister, and I went into Foot Locker on the Champs-Élysées and bought a pair of trainers and put the Louis Vuitton boots in the carrier bag and wore the trainers for the rest of the day, and it was really just coming from these. So I think for that zip to be just falling down as you walk and how they've worn, I just don't really think that they are worth the money, and that makes them one of my worst purchases of 2021. Last, number 5 of my worst luxury purchases of 2021. Although I think I maybe bought this in 2020, but I put it away and didn't take it out until 2021, but it is the Chanel Deville. And it's not because, like, when I see this, when I bring this bag out and look at it in the camera there, I am reminded of just how insanely beautiful this bag is. It's absolutely stunning. The tweed, the glitter tweed in it is stunning. It runs all through the raffia type material. The Chanel print is stunning. I love the leather handles. I love this bag. It's absolutely stunning. But it has to be one of my worst luxury purchases of this year because it just didn't work out for me. And when I bought this bag because I loved it. I did not engage my brain. I did not think about the weather, the climate. I did not think about how much I would be able to or would not be able to use this bag. I did say when I unboxed it that I wanted to see if another large tote would work for me because I use the Neverfull so much, and I wanted to see if I would swap in and out and whether or not I had room for 2 in my wardrobe and collection. So I did know that there was a question mark over it from the start, but I really, really just didn't think through the material. And there were times when I would look at this bag and think I'll take the bag, but I would look outside and think, is it going to rain? And where am I going? Am I going to be setting it on the ground? Where am I going? And that's just not going to work for me. I really don't baby my bags. And this one I was concerned about, and mostly because of our weather. And I could just see this getting soaked and getting sodden through, and it just didn't work. It really just didn't work. Now, I have to say it's not a regret. I don't regret buying that bag, and the reason I don't regret buying that bag is because that bag in that specific tweed, in that specific version, had been on my mind for so long. It had been on my wish list for so long, I couldn't get it out of my mind. So I do think I had to get that bag. I had to buy that bag. I had to get that Neverfull in that colour, in that size, to see if it was going to work. If I hadn't have, I'd still be chasing it. I'd still be chasing it down, and it would still be going to come. So I did have to... Sorry, I apologise for my voice. I did have to buy it to find out if it was going to work. So I don't regret it because I needed to know that, but it has to be one of my worst luxury purchases because it just didn't work out for me, and I realised that quite quickly. And then I did sell it on the vlog sale, and then that fell through, and that obviously there is the hassle and the concern and the worry about selling things, so that it has to be one of the worst purchases of this year. So that is it. Those are my 5 worst luxury purchases of 2021. Thankfully there are only 5. I think, and I know I can hear my husband's voice about the cost of them, and I know if you add it all up, but let's not do that. I think 5 for the amount that I shop is probably not that bad. I am learning lessons, and I have learnt lessons throughout the years as I go. These have taught me more lessons. I know that, you know, the Deville with the fabric, the bucket bag of the Fendi. I just need to be that little bit more I suppose, continue to learn from my own mistakes as I go forward in what I'm going to buy. So I am not overly, well, yes, 5's too many, but anyway, at least it's not more than that. Thank you so much for watching me. Thank you for being here. I hope this has been helpful. I hope this reasoning has helped anybody that's looking at any of these things. And let me know what you think. Come into the comment box. Let me know what you think. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for everything, really. And take care. And I will see you again in the next one.